Alright guys, let's break this down. It's time to face the reality. Covington might be done because Buckley just dominated him for most of this fight. And while Covington had a few moments, Buckley showed up and really proved the point. And honestly, this felt like more of an improved version of Covington compared to his last fight, at least with Leon Edwards. He actually pushed the pace a bit more, but the reality is age and that layoff has finally caught up with him. And look man, Covington came in with his trademark pressure and his wrestling heavy approach, but something was off. He looked slower and his striking, well, which was never really his strong suit, seemed to have regressed. Buckley on the other hand was on fire. His boxing was crisp, especially the way he was mixing shots to the body and then coming back upstairs. His jab, clean and sharp, it was snapping Covington's head back over and over. And when it came to the grappling, Buckley wasn't giving an inch. Covington managed to get a takedown or two, but for the most part, Buckley's takedown defense held strong. He just looked sharp, faster, and hungrier. It's tough to say, but it feels like Covington's days as a contender might be over. Now let's talk about Buckley quick. I've been saying this for a while that this guy is dangerous and he just keeps proving it. If you've been following, you know I picked him over Ian Gary a while back and he showed why here. His striking is dynamic, his defense is solid, and he's got the kind of grit that makes him a serious threat. The welterweight division is really starting to heat up, and Buckley is about to be a big part of that. I can't wait to see him step up against the top 5. It's gonna be fun to watch. Alright, let's break this fight down a bit and give my honest thoughts. So, in the first round, Buckley came out aggressive, throwing hands, keeping Covington on the back foot right away. Covington went for a takedown, and Buckley stuffed it like it was nothing. At that point, I was like, yeah, Covington's pretty much done for. Buckley started mixing it up, with the jabs, the kicks to the body, and some nice shots on top too. He wasn't going crazy, but he was landing clean. Covington tried to fight back, but Buckley's footwork was just too good. Every time they traded, Buckley got the better of it. Covington even went for another takedown, and Buckley stuffed that too. I was literally sitting there like, man, Covington's about to take a beating for the next 4 rounds. The biggest moment came when Buckley caught him with a grazing uppercut that cut Covington's eyelid. Another big moment that happened was at the end of the round where Covington went down, and for a second it looked like Buckley dropped him. Turns out it was just a slip, not a knockdown. Either way, Buckley clearly owned that round and he was already in full control. In the next round, Covington came out guns blazing, determined to flip the script and put Buckley on the defensive. He pushed forward with relentless pressure, but Buckley was ready, stuffed yet again another takedown attempt with ease. From there, Buckley took over the round, lighting up Covington with a master class of striking, sharp jab, vicious body shots, and a mix of side kicks and leg kicks and body kick kept Covington guessing. Despite Buckley's dominance, Covington found his opening, finally dragging the fight to the ground and moving straight into side control. For a moment, it looked like Buckley was in trouble as Covington worked some ground and pound, but even with Covington trying to hold him down, Buckley stayed composed, using every ounce of his strength and skills to get back up on his feet after like a minute or two. Once standing, Buckley wasted no time unleashing his offense yet again. That jab was a thing of beauty, snapping Covington's head back repeatedly and targeting the cut above his eye like a heat-seeking missile. The blood was flowing and Covington's frustration was palpable as Buckley kept landing shot after shot with precision and power. By the end of the round, it was clear that Buckley wasn't just winning, he was putting on a clinic. Another dominant electric round for Buckley. In the third round, Covington came out swinging for the fences, desperately to turn the tides. He immediately shot for another takedown, but Buckley, yet again, shut it down with ease, showcasing his dominance once again. Buckley was relentless, working the jab and keeping Covington on the back foot. Covington struggled to land anything meaningful while Buckley continued to dictate the pace. And here's the thing, dude, Buckley wasn't just striking, he took the grappling battle to Covington too. Not once, but twice. Buckley stuffed Covington's takedowns attempts and reversed the position, ended up on top. He controlled Covington on the ground for most of the round, making it clear who was in charge. And at this point, I couldn't help but think, damn, Covington is getting absolutely worked out there. Covington managed to reverse a triangle choke attempt, briefly getting on top and controlling Buckley, but it didn't last that long. Buckley powered his way back to his feet and the fight continued. While Covington's eye looked worse by the second, the referee paused the action for a doctor's check. The ringside doctor took one look and called it. The cut was too severe for Covington to continue. Buckley was awarded a TKO victory with just 18 seconds left in the round, capping off an absolute dominant performance. I know some people are saying that the stoppage was premature, and yeah, you know, I get it. We've seen some fights continue with like worse cuts before, but let's be real, the outcome wasn't going to change. Covington was already getting outworked, and Buckley was completely in control. His cardio was unreal, and he looked like he could keep that same pace for the full 5 rounds. The ref stepping in might have felt early to some, but honestly, it saved Covington from more unnecessary damage. At the end of the day, safety comes first, and I think it was the right call. Especially when you consider that Covington has years of damage on his body, the stoppage makes sense. He's been through so many wars, and I get that he wants to go out on his shield, but you've got the factor in his age, 36 or 37, and the wear and tear he's accumulated over the years. And honestly, if the fight had been more competitive, I'd be all for letting it continue. But this wasn't that kind of fight. Buckley was dominating, and while the cut wasn't the worst we've ever seen, it was bad enough, and the outcome wasn't going to change. The stoppage was right. Now, as for what's next for these two, let's start with Buckley. I would love to see him match up with Kamaru Usman. Both guys are built like tanks, and the pace of that fight could be something special. But honestly, I don't think Usman will take it. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's getting older, and I'm not sure he can impose his wrestling on someone as strong and explosive as Buckley. Usman might go for someone safer like JDM to try and get back on track. Another option for Buckley could be Ian Gary. That matchup was supposed to happen before but fell through, and it's still one of the most exciting fights they can rebook. It would make sense as a title eliminator early next year, and I think the fans will love it. Now, as for Covington, that's a tougher call, and if you ask me, I think it might be time for him to hang it up. His age is starting to show, and the division is full of bad matchups for him. If he does decide to keep fighting, maybe someone like Vicente Luque would be a good option. It will be competitive, but not too risky. Then again, Covington has always chased big names, so who knows what he'll do next. But overall, I thought the main event was fun and a wild ride. It wasn't the greatest fight ever, but it felt like it was building to something exciting before the doctor stoppage. Regardless, the card as a whole was incredible, probably one of the best in years, and a great way to close out the year. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.